yeah, hey, baby, this is why they put me under the criminal trespass warning. In fact, maybe this is why. This is the Ghetto Free Press, keeping you informed, as Paul Harvey would say. Now, get the rest of the story. Is this why? Is this why they put me under this warning? To keep you deaf, dumb, ignorant, and blind? Oh, yeah, hey, baby, this is why they put me under the criminal trespass warning. In fact, maybe this is why. This is the Ghetto Free Press, keeping you informed, as Paul Harvey would say. Now, get the rest of the story. Is this why? Is this why they put me under this warning? To keep you deaf, dumb, ignorant, and blind? This 14-year-old girl that were handcuffed with her face down at Pine Grove Middle School under Wes Taylor, the superintendent of Lowndes County Schools. When the mother and father went to news media to report what happened to their daughter, no news media until this day, after 99 days, much like mine, criminal trespass and denial of my constitutional rights, nothing has been reported in the news media in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. And so we can only imagine how many more mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and parents have had the same thing to happen to them in the school system. And our local news media in South Georgia, we commend them for the outstanding work that they do. But at the same time, we must ask the question, why? Why, oh why, did this mother have to cry out, as you gonna see in this video? Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, KYRC, saying Know Your Rights campaign. There is something wrong here in the United States of America. Something wrong when a 14-year-old child can be charged with a felony, and then the people who they say she assaulted or hit send statements and say it never took place. The charges was not dropped against this young girl, black African-American type. We, the people of the United States of America, more especially those who have put their lives on the line in foreign nations, we better ask some questions today, or we are losing this republic, y'all. Now listen to this mother. Listen to her as she tell you her story and the lack of justice here in Lowndes County, Georgia. Listen, please. Tell us what happened today. We at the Lowndes County Courthouse just got out with Judge Ellerbee. Tell us what took place there, and did you receive justice for you and your daughter?
No, I actually did not receive justice, because it was amazing to me. Judge Ellerbee presided over the case when it was supposed to be Judge Terry Adams. I don't know why they put him over the case, because he knows nothing, supposedly nothing about the case, but unfortunately they put him on the case, and his track record is not good when it comes to our black people and our black children. He has been known to put them in jail for the littlest things that don't even make sense for them to be incriminated for, and yet they allowed him to be over this case. That lets me know that this place is nothing but a setup, and just really a setup to make sure that this not lawyer, but the police officer does not get arrested. And it's amazing to me how things work here. There's no justice. There's no justice for my child. But it would be a different story if it was their child going through this same situation. Then they'd be crying, wanting somebody to help them. But because it's my child, and I guess because of her skin color, she doesn't matter. This judge was very nasty. On top of it, he was very rude, telling my daughter that he see with her grades, the only thing she'll be able to do is be a singer or an artist or a painter or something of that nature. That is derogatory, because first of all, she had good grades and she's passed, and like I explained to him, she's making A's in her 9th grade now. She's an A student. Now what's your excuse for the comments?
Okay, let's back up a little bit now. What generated all of this? You gave us information, but on May the 24th, that been 99 days ago. The reason I know it because I'm under criminal trespass. The next day, the sheriff or deputy lied on me, so it seemed like they lied on you the day before.
Yeah.
I mean, on your daughter. So that's 2 and 1. But look, let me ask you my beautiful sister, let me ask you another question. I personally was in there, and I think that you did an outstanding presentation. So did your husband. But I just don't have no confidence in the Southern Judiciary, period. I have a long history as the former president of the NAACP with Judge Ellerbee, and he's been very controversial. Now, but to get back to what you said, to make it be pointed, who was the judge that's supposed to have been over this?
Judge Terry Adams. And the sad part about it, we were told from her that she was going to move the case over to the Supreme Court. Now, how did it get back into her case?
You mean Supreme Court, Superior Court? Superior
Court. And how did it get back in her file and then turn around, Judge Ellerbee is over the case?
You also talked about, and you brought up the fact that what you was concerned about was the protection of other kids, so no other child would be handcuffed and taken down like a murderer, really. You could not have taken a murderer down any worse than this 14-year-old child. And to sit here and watch Judge Ellerbee do this, in my most humble opinion, to me it was a disgrace. I really must say that. But we have said it over and over again. There is something real wrong here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Wouldn't you say?
Yes,
well, even not only that. My beautiful sister, excuse me for touching you, but check this. Wouldn't you say that even more disgraceful is that what happened to your daughter at Pine Grove Middle School and under Wes Taylor, who's the superintendent of the school? Isn't it more disgraceful that not one newspaper, not one radio that I know of or television station covered this whole thing? So how do you think these parents feel out here and the general people in this metro city? They don't even know not only about what is here today, but they don't know nothing about what happened at school and your child. What do you think about that?
I think it's a disgrace because the facts are the facts. He wanted me to present the facts, so I presented the facts. And how can you, based on the facts, showing that the teacher and the principal collaborated our story and collaborated what had transpired, and this officer wrote a false report and falsely arrest my daughter, say he's not guilty? Based on the facts I presented, showed the picture of her being arrested, showed the picture of emails from the teacher and the principal that he allowed to be in evidence, and yet and still he say that
he read it into the record. Am I correct?
Yes, he did.
He read it into the record. Now, but the thing about it, unless you appeal it or something like that, and since there were no news media about none of this, we can only imagine how many other people have gone through the same thing. I know I didn't violate any law, and I'm in my 99th day, 98th day. She's in her 99th day. In a couple of days, it'll be over 100 days that I've been restricted without any one respecting my rights. Any other closing remarks? I think your husband did an outstanding job too. And you made it. Wait a minute. You clarified this. You made this very clear that you have knowledge in the law enforcement field to the judge. And why do you think that he seemed like he had trouble understanding what you say? Do you think it because he's white, he can't understand black folk? Why do you and your husband had to keep repeating? I understood what you all said very well. And I think that if anybody go back and listen to that tape, they probably ask the question, why did he have you all to repeat what you were saying when it should have been even understood by a person in kindergarten or 3rd grade?
Not to mention, the reporter didn't have a hard time understanding while she was reading it into the notes. So how is it he had a hard time understanding? The judge's mind was already made up when he came into court, because based on the evidence that we presented, there is no way he should have came out without a guilty verdict.
Everything that you brought up, including the pictures, the statement from Mr. G.B.R, who actually stated that your daughter didn't even hit her. And that was the base of the wasn't that a felony?
Yes, that was the base of the felony. And yet and still, how can you say it was based on the felony? The people that were involved was based on it. We gave them information from those particular people, and you can't still justify and say that she did the act. That's falsifying records. I don't know where he got his degree from, but that's falsifying records.
And if anybody, wow, this is heavy. To me, the precedent that was set today in this courtroom is this. the law enforcement, a sheriff deputy, can take any child, hog tie them, handcuff them, throw them to the ground, and charge them with a felony, suspend them from school for 5 days, force the parents to go out and get a lawyer in these hard economic times to defend their child. And if you don't have the guts, number one, and if you don't have the money, then you will plea bargain.
That's it.
You think that's what they want you to do?
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do. And when we had the public defender, that was his main goal. Oh, we'll take the battery charge off if you just plea bargain to the fray and disrupting. But under the castle doctrine law, my daughter had a right to defend herself. She was attacked. That's the part that I'm still amazed of. She was attacked. But here's the thing. Maybe if we would have brought a white girl in and pretend that she was my daughter, there would be some sympathy.
Wow. Let's go back to what got me, and this is why the Ghetto Free Press, KYRC, the Ghetto Free Press, KYRC, which means Know Your Rights campaign. This is why we're gonna take it to the next level. They can come after me, but I will assure you that there's gonna be somebody else that will pick up the camera, because this cannot go on. The Georgia Secretary of State, Georgia Attorney General, I'm saying to you, something is wrong in the state of Georgia, and Eric Holder of the Justice Department, I don't know why y'all getting paid up there. If you cannot see from what I have already presented, over 20 years of proof, documentation in a very professional military manner, which I was trained to do, and you still cannot come down and do something in this God-forsaken place called Lowndes County, Valdosta, and South Georgia in general. Now, the most important part, in my most humble opinion, we have missed. So let's go back before we close this out on the Ghetto Free Press. First of all, the judge told you when you asked for a continuance, he said that they sent it out to you on the 12th.
Yes.
After checking his records, he found out it was sent out on the 13th.
The 14th.
The 14th, which means you only had a few days, am I correct?
Yes.
To subpoena these people.
Yes.
When you ask for a continuance, I have seen people get continuance for little of nothing.
Yes.
And so, what do you think about him? Right off, I said to myself from then, I said, you're not going to get into justice in this case, not under Judge Ellerbee.
No,
that's what I said.
I mean, I knew of him, and I knew his track record, and I know that I was not going to get any justice. I just pray that God would probably touch his heart, and he'll do the right thing for the first time in his life. But I guess he one of those people like Pharaoh. His heart is stone. And
again, the history of Judge Ellerbee go way back with the NAACP, the SCLC, Jesse Jackson people. Attorney Janice Mathis from Atlanta came down concerning the problem that we had. Now, if this particular case had been given some type of media exposure other than my YouTube, which I have over 250,000 views. So I got a call this morning, you may not know, I got a call this morning from Korea. People are watching this information, and they saying, what is happening in the New South? Well, this is what's happening in the New South, but you don't read about it in the Valdosta Daily Times, which means in years to come, when people pick up the Valdosta Daily Times and look at television video, they won't see none of this. Now, the Secretary of State made a statement in the Equipment Free Press a few months ago, that if it's not published in the local newspaper, it didn't happen. Well, I'm not gonna call the Secretary of State a lie because he was the one being interviewed. I'm not gonna call the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, a liar, but I will say this, he is wrong. This particular case did happen because we just left out the courtroom, but nothing was published in no South Georgia news media. The Valdosta Daily Times, Kay Harris, are fully aware of it. Greg from Channel 6 are aware of it. People from 27, ABC, NBC are aware of this. So now we got to ask ourselves a question. How many other black children, or poor white children in particular, have been caught up in the same thing? But because we don't have a news media to report cases like this, then you all are, as I said before, deaf, dumb, and blind, because they don't want you to know.
Because at the end of the day, it's my daughter that's being affected. It's my household that's being affected. But no one seems to care about our well-being. It's as if we are nothing here. And it's sad to say, because she was unjustly done wrong. And now she was being unjustly done wrong by the court system. Time and time again, we're being justly done wrong. Who is going to stand up? These people go to church every Sunday saying they worship Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior, but yet they have no heart to do the right thing. What book are you picking up? I just want to know what book, because he's a God of truth. And if you feel the truth, you'll do the right thing and you'll make it known that what you have done is an injustice and it's wrong to an innocent 14-year-old who never should have went through this. She was assaulted. She was attacked. And we're going through the courts for people who don't seem to care nothing. What God you serve? If it's your white Jesus, he still say truth. Because the Jesus I know has no color. He loves all people and he does right by everybody. Get that Jesus. Because it's time out for the foolishness. You have enfranchised my family over and over again. You have hurted us tremendously. I am so broken over this. So distraught over this. I'm so tired over this. What is right is right. Do the right thing. And you people out there that happen to watch this, start calling the governor. Start making it be known. Maybe if we get a cry out, these people will do the right thing. Because justice needs to be prevailed.
One other question, my beautiful sister. I gotta ask you this. Did he show any concern whatsoever?
No.
Did he? Did he show any concern? Let me stand with you on this. I don't want you to stand alone on this.
I told him how much this was affecting our family. He showed no concern, no remorse. He was sarcastic. He talked down about my daughter as if to think that she can't be nothing but something little belittled. How is it my child can be belittled? She did not make bad grades. She graduated. She went to the next grade level. She's making honor roll like I said to him. So now, that same child that you looking crazy like you was shocked, we're not ignorant poor blacks. Okay? So people look down to. And you got to learn to tell us to get a lawyer. We don't need you to tell us to get that. We know we need a lawyer in this place. We know we do. And then you talk about, oh, we got good lawyers in Valdosta. Who can trust the lawyers in Valdosta? Be honest with you. It was very hard for us to make a decision because of the fact who was going to present our daughter's case, who was going to do the right thing, who was not going to be bought by this system, who was not going to be afraid to stand up and speak out against the corruption and the enfranchisement that they have placed upon us. That's what we were concerned about. We don't want nobody taking our case who's going to sit there and lay down and not do nothing.
Again, this was my question. Did he show any concern to the fact that number one, your daughter didn't hit nobody. Number two, that the people who started the fight was not even hog-tied, nor handcuffed, nor nothing. Well, they were charged, right? But it seemed as if, though, from looking at what happened to your daughter, wouldn't you not say that they seemed like they made your daughter look like the aggressor when all she was doing was defending herself even under some law that you stated?
Yes.
Close this out by expounding on that.
She was not the aggressor. She was defending herself. She was attacked by more than one child. And then he has the statement, the reason why we got resource officers in the schools for bad children. So what are you saying? All our children are bad? What determines they're bad? Their color? What determines they're bad? Because you read the statement, he read the statement, she had not been in trouble. His eyes buckled up like he was shocked and surprised. She had never been in trouble until that incident when she was attacked. He showed no remorse for what she's been going through. I had her to stand up so he could look her in the face and see how little and framed she is.
And your husband gave her weight versus the officer's weight, yes. 200 and some pounds.
A plus.
And he also talked about how Mr. Yarborough or somebody pulled her
yes.
out of the way or
and
just...
he's like 160 something.
Yeah, just moved somebody over. Yet this deputy, who's a trained, professional law enforcement officer, couldn't handle the situation without
tackling her. There's a matrix. When someone escalate, you escalate. When they de-escalate, you de-escalate. The situation was de-escalate. The teacher had already had her calm, standing to the side when he tackled her. That's the facts. There was no reason for him to do that because I don't know what their mindset was. I know the matrix. That's something you learn in law enforcement. There was no justification for what he did. And then to falsify the records after you have the teacher, after you have the principal stating she did not touch anybody, that alone was evidence that this case should have been thrown out. He should have been arrested. That alone, because it proves the facts.
So nothing will happen to that officer. He won't be counseled. No. He won't be reprimanded. He won't be talked to and say.
And he's able to do it again to somebody else's child.
Now, if he falsified the records, that means in his mind, or anybody would take that as a precedent that you can lie, you can say that you struck individual, which is a felony in the state of Georgia, that it's okay to do that. Am I correct? In other words, any child at the school.
This is not the first time a teacher or someone in authority has lied on a student and said they were struck. This is not the first time. I've heard of several cases that this has happened in this city. So they're just giving them an okay stamp to say we can do this over and over again to the children.
Let's add one other thing. Now, do you think the Georgia Attorney General, Sam Olson, approves of this, number one? Or number two, do you think that the Georgia Bar Association will look at these records and will look at what Judge Ellerbee did here today? And do you think they could find something that they may need to look in it to make the parents get some type of confidence in a system that their children will be protected at the schools in the state of Georgia, if they look at it?
If they look, they will find the truth. Bottom line, they will find the truth and they'll find evidence to prove that something needs to be done. That's the key word, if they look at it. If they take the initiative to come down and check the records and see for themselves what really goes on in these school systems, they'll find plenty of evidence and plenty of proof that injustice has been done in the school system. And they just gave this officer the okay to continue to do what he's been doing, lying, deceiving, and writing false reports and falsely arresting children. My daughter, that's what they felt up and realized. My daughter is the victim. She is the victim. And I guess if you want to make it plain as day, black and white.
In fact, if you have proven that, and you tried to explain to him, am I correct, that the video spoke for itself?
Yes.
You outlined it so beautiful. I watched it. I'm at least of average intelligence, and military say slightly above. And I understood clearly what you said. It seemed as if though he didn't really want you to say that.
No. He didn't want me to say anything about the video. He didn't actually want to put the emails in, but I kept insisting on it. I kept insisting on, look at the video. The video tells it for itself. But he refused to. His mind was made up when he first came here. He thought he was dealing with a child that had a bad, was bad in school and got into an altercation. That's his mindset, because like he said, I used to be on the juvenile justice, on the juvenile court. So your mindset is that every child is bad. Every child is not bad. Every child does not get into trouble. Unfortunately, my daughter was attacked by people she thought that were her friends. That was caused this altercation. She thought these were her friends. So there was no reason for her to be like, on guard, because she thought these girls were her friends. And they attacked her on the last day of school. That's the bottom line. She is suffering from this.
Once again, I think that I'm going to provide you a copy of this video. And there's a possibility that you can send this. And I think you personally, I think you need to request a transcript from what happened and took place here today and send it to the Justice Department, the Georgia Attorney General, and the Georgia Bar Association. The Georgia Bar Association got to find out what's going on here in the Southern Judiciary. This is why I have been saying from day one, the Quitman 10+2 in Brooks County, it almost is over 3 years and they have not gone to court. I just don't believe that you can get justice nowhere in the Southern Judiciary. Go ahead.
I just want to also instate, why we're in court, because he was like, where's your lawyer? Oh, your lawyer probably did not want to be a part of this because he knew this was wrong. First of all, our lawyer did not tell us any of the such. Matter of fact, I would tell you what he said, but I won't do that right now because of the simple fact that's going to be taken care of at a later date. But he never advised us not to do as such. He saw the evidence himself. Your public defender saw the evidence, and he saw that she was innocent. That's probably why he excused himself. And then this particular lawyer you gave me don't want to do his job. That's why we have to get our own lawyer. It is not that our lawyer, or we didn't, our lawyer said, oh, he don't want to touch that. That is not the truth. You need to stop lying on folks, and you're supposed to be a judge. That's just the bottom line. You can't make accusations and you don't know what transpired. We know that we need a lawyer. We didn't bring the lawyer because the lawyer is representing our daughter. We didn't know that we had to use him for this particular case. We wanted the separation, to be honest with you, because we didn't want nothing that could not be used, that was used in this case, not be used in the next case.
Okay, you've stated earlier, I'm so sorry it's taking so long, I wasn't planning on talking this long, but you also stated earlier, and your husband as well, that you know you got that case going on. But if I have Tim, your husband, correctly, he said that the reason why he went to the other judge, they don't know nothing about what you went through just to get that done.
Yes.
And enough emphasis can't be put on the fact that when you want to file a complaint, whoever at the sheriff department and top level management said they didn't even have any forms for you to make a complaint.
No.
And so in Lowndes County, it seems like as if though we back in the 30s.
There must be something going on, because I see the police department, I see the news people, media coming out to speak now, but when we needed someone to talk concerning us, they didn't show up. But they want to show up now, I guess, to hear what they had, that he's found innocent. But yet it's still the evidence proved that he was guilty.
And once again, I personally called the news media, left a message. I called the Valdosta Daily Times, told them about that this was taking place. We are going to continue. We are going to continue to keep the news in front of the American people here in the state of Georgia, because I believe that you all have a right to know.
So if those evidence was not accurate, why did he make it permissible in the court? Why did he put it into evidence? So if they were saying, oh, there was missed stuff quoted, he took those emails and put it inside in the court case. So all of a sudden, now all of them here to do what? To do what?
Yeah.
Now they can come and show up now. But when I was trying to present the case concerning my daughter, I couldn't get nobody to show up. But now, what is it? You go ahead and record it.
Okay. Once again,
WCTV.
Channel 6.
And 27.
Channel
they
6.
Here now, but they couldn't come here
6.
to do what we asked
Channel
them to do.
6 and Channel WLB is here as well.
Yeah.
But those are for other issues, I'm sorry, I'm sure. And we can see that this has always been the case here. And this is what we've been talking about. Here in Valdosta, in Lowndes County, and in the state of Georgia, there is something seriously wrong. And as this mother here said, she knows something wrong. We in the black community have been knowing something was wrong. The only difference now is...
It's not hurt because of my skin tone, and I am not a racist, and I'm hurt because where I grew up in Miami, and if you know anything about Miami, there's all nationality, and we all get along. But moving to Georgia and the south part of the side, I found out race is a big issue. And because my daughter is a black child, she can't get no justice. She can't get no justice.
Can't even get news coverage.
She can't get news coverage because she's a black child. But if it was a white child, they would be lining up for days just to hear what we have to say. And it's sad. The skin tone, because we're coming against somebody that is of another race, we can't get our justice.
Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, KYRC, Know Your Rights campaign. And we got to do this. I wished I had something else to say. But it about all have been said. The question is, where is the Georgia Attorney General, the governor of the state of Georgia, Eric Holt of the Justice Department? And I'm hoping that the Kendrick Johnson case will come on with the autopsy. Just maybe it may reveal, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Once again, George Boss Ryan in the front of the Lowndes County Courthouse, where some come expecting justice, but it seems like there is no justice for this mother, her daughter, her husband, and her family. Bye-bye. Once again, after making this video, I had to close it out with this. I'm sorry, y'all, excuse me, but I've said that it seems like the state of Georgia, Lowndes County and Valdosta in particular, and especially South Georgia, seem like we are operating on our own set of laws. Now, this mother went back up there, as I stated earlier before. Come on, come here, beautiful sister. Now, will you tell me? Do you have anything you want to say, bro? But that was something you was going to add earlier, wasn't it? What? This is the father, and he has he was on. He took the stand too. Just tell us a synopsis from your standpoint. What do you think about the day proceeding? Everything.
A joke.
A joke. It's a 100% complete joke. All right. So he basically wanted to get the facts. So we gave him the facts. Had pictures. Had better pictures in our phone, which had our evidence. didn't allow us to get our phones to bring into the courtroom before we could provide our
But how
evidence.
about when I went back to get the transcript for the court reporter, I was allowed to bring my phone into the building. Yes.
Wait.
No one took my phone then. No one stopped me from bringing my phone in. Went right back to the probate court, the same court I left out of, and was carrying my phone. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone with my husband. I was texting my mama about the situation. So how is it I couldn't bring it up there before when the court was going in section and when we needed to present the evidence, but I could bring it afterwards?
Wow.
A joke, man. A freaking joke.
Wow.
Serious joke.
They let you know they do what they want to do.
They consider us as jokes, man. We comedy to them. We entertainment. We freaking entertainment. Salvo, whatever, man. How you not take this serious? This is serious allegations here. Everything that we had on that paper was backed up by facts. Everything we backed up by facts. False imprisonment. He had our daughter in the room in handcuffs. We didn't know where she was till afterwards. That's false imprisonment.
And he never, to this day, told us he had arrested her. And I stated that
thank God
several
for
times.
pictures being sent to us showing her face down with handcuffs on the back.
Now,
So, I'm sorry.
had there not been that video posted on Facebook, would you have known that they...
No, we never would have known.
We would have known anything. We would have been lost if the children, and we thank God for the children that did that, even though they don't realize they helped our case, but they did.
So kids out there, y'all keep y'all cell phones on, man. Y'all keep y'all cell phone. Y'all record everything. Everything y'all record.
How much it saved your life.
Because we weren't able to at least move this far if that information wasn't provided. Now they still doing what they want to do, but now they're a little bit careful about how they doing it now. You start to see stuff starting to get swept on the rug now. Like now you're getting years and years of great stuff that our forefathers fought for, bled for, died for, is starting to get sweet back now. So now y'all guys have definitely, young kids, teenagers, grown folks, you got a smartphone, man, that is your weapon, man. That is your weapon. Keep that bad boy on record everything, put it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is that you want to do, man. Because that right there, because once it's out there, it's out there. It's on the internet, they can't take that down. They might seize one thing, or they can't seize everything. It's a network built by our great country, United States of America, to move military information so it'll never get lost. Use that to your advantage now.
As a father, and I mean this, as a father, when you got a statement from the persons who said your daughter hit, and it didn't happen, yet she's stuck with the felony, and they said it never happened. How do you feel about that? I mean, I'm not a mother, but to know that the people heard and saw what happened at the school, then they had enough heart to say it never happened. And yet, the Judge Ellerbee seemed that maybe he bound by some Georgia law.
Man, I don't know what law Judge Ellerbee or Ellerbee, female, what he going under, or what's PMSing him right now in his old age. I don't understand what this cat doing, man. He wanted evidence. We provided evidence. Everything that was on that piece of paper, law violated, we had it. So he gonna put it on the guys as he's doing his job.
One other question I'm gonna ask both of y'all. This is why I kept forgetting. Why do you think that the attorney for Atkins never asked no question?
Never asked.
Why you reckon he never asked no? Was he that confident of what was gonna happen? Was he that confident, you think?
Like, man, we walked in. Okay, first and foremost, we got a note from. All right, when we first filed this thing, we were supposed to go to Thomasville. She recused herself. I'm talking about Judge Adams now. She recused herself of it. She didn't want nothing to do with it. She sent to Thomasville. We getting ready for Thomasville. A few days later, maybe about a month later, we get a note saying we're gonna be here in Valdosta.
Less than a month.
Less than a month later, we get a note we're gonna be in Valdosta.
On the 14th. This
14th,
year
yeah.
is the 21st. We get a notice saying it's in Valdosta. It's at her court. We're expecting to see her. She's not there. They done put Judge Ellerbee in her place.
Yeah.
And we know the history of Judge Ellerbee. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, okay, the note being sent out on the 14th. That ain't saying we got it on the 14th.
That's when
You
it
know
was
what I'm saying?
sent out. We
It was
didn't
sent
receive
out on
it
14th.
till about 3 or 4 days later.
So, thank you. So, 14, 15, 16, 17, that's what we got on the 17th. 18, 19, 20, 24. If you're giving us 4 days to work with working people with other stuff on our mind.
Dealing with our daughter's case.
Not to mention the time of the educators.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're trying to get us to to come up with a subpoena inside that time frame, dude, you give judges free. I mean, lawyers 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Why I can't get the same respect in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Then they won't let us continue the case when we said we didn't have this stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm finna ask you. Was you shocked by not being able to get a continuance? I mean, I've been to court.
I was shocked, but then I wasn't shocked, man.
We weren't shocked.
You expect stuff like this to go on, man. It's sad. It's sad, but
we expect it from him,
man.
Because his evidence, his background.
Okay, this guy supposed to be somewhere else. Now you telling me y'all don't elevate this dude to have power over all of South Georgia now? But he just go court hopping wherever he please like Philly, and then they say they bring him in for special cases. We never go into what is so special about this. Ain't nothing special about this. Guy broke a law, being a law enforcement. We're gonna bring him under suggestion of the law, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And am I shocked about it? No. Am I disappointed? Yeah, but I'm not shocked. I understand.
We addressed this earlier, but as the father, I want to get your opinion. Because I've heard you talk about, and in fact, I'll restate it again. You made the statement that this part of this proceeding or appeal or request was for the purpose to ensure that no other student and that no other parent would go through what your daughter went through. That's why, didn't you say that?
I said that.
So this is a furtherance of you trying to make it better for other black African American children, for the most part, right?
What I said in the courtroom, I said, sir, we wanted to at least get a complaint filed. That's why we right here right now, because we were not able to file a complaint. Once again, Lowndes County Sheriff Office does not have complaint forms
against their officer.
Against officers. So if you want to go file a complaint, you have to be done orally. There's no file with that. There's no files of that. So what I wanted to do, what I told the judge, I at least want this on this man's file. I want this on his file, so hey, we could pinpoint that. He might not never done it before. I don't know. I don't honestly know. But I think what I do know, he made a mistake. He made a mistake.
A big one.
And he tried to cover up the mistake that he made.
And the mistake is what? Short form?
Short form, he tackled somebody that should not be tackled.
Okay.
He tackled my daughter when the whole situation was over. He didn't have to tackle. That's why I said excessive force.
And another mistake is when you think that what about that felony?
Felony, yeah. I mean, now you write up, that goes into false report. You false report a felony that did not happen.
So indirect, what did Judge Ellerbee saying? Is he saying that that's okay now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or maybe we don't understand the Georgia law.
Because no, what I told him, I said, when you talk about battery on a school official, in the rule it said intentionally done. He tried to stop me from saying what I had to say because he knew I was telling the truth and say, no, I'm not here to plead the other case and this and that. And then he said he based his evidence, I'm going to give you what he said, that lets you know he full of it, because he said, I'm based on the evidence that you still want ongoing case. I'm going to deny these charges. So that lets you know, with the evidence that we presented, we were right, but because he did not want to give our case any credibility, that's why he denied it.
Now, if he used that term, ongoing case, don't you think that if it was that strong that he should have just said, well, I can't take this case until after the other case is resolved?
That's fair. The law, man, the law is designed to be fair. Just be fair. Okay, I'm not going to dismiss it at the time, but pending the other case, we're going to put this on hold. Bam. Put your little gavel down, and I've been satisfied with that.
Right.
I really would have. Okay, cool. So they know it's an ongoing case going, but like, man, you walk in there, we walked in there, man, I could just feel it, man. I like, first thing in my mind, when they told us Ellerbee doing it, I said setup.
Yeah.
You put in a new
I said setup. When the dude saying that, cause we went to the assistant, the assistant at the front desk, saying, hey man, we want to continue it because we didn't get a chance to file a subpoena in order to get the people that need to be here. So you gotta talk that to the judge. I'm thinking about it, say, Adam, Ellerbee. Where the hell Ellerbee come from?
Could you, I mean, I've already addressed it because you wasn't here. I want your take on this. I know that this sister is at least of average intelligence. Yeah. You are at least of average intelligence. Why was not Judge Ellerbee able to follow the English communication that was done in that courtroom? He kept asking you, I don't understand it. How could he not understand it? I'm taking notes. I didn't have no problem. I noticed the people, I guess it was for the state, over there writing, they didn't seem to have a problem understanding. How is that to you? He couldn't understand it. The court recorder didn't ask to repeat it.
Nope.
So undoubtedly,
Not
but
once.
how do you think he can do that, man?
Because he's sitting in power and he can do what he wants to. I hate to say it, I wish it was passive, but the color of his skin, he could do what he wants to, man. And the color of our skin, they got us thinking that we something else, man, that we don't, it shocked them to know that we knew what we was talking about.
Okay, all right.
So if you want to stick, like I said, for class example, man, you know, you say, all right, well, I'm not trying to hear the other case, I want to stick with facts. All right, you want facts? Facts says he tackled. Facts says he put handcuffs in. Facts says it was excessive. How could a 150-pound man move her to the side after the fight over? A 230-pound man come tackle her and put her handcuffs. Where's justice in that?
And don't forget the felony charge, man. Y'all keep forgetting that.
If you wanted to be fair, I asked the judge this. I said, okay, what's fair about my daughter being in handcuffs and the other girl not in handcuffs?
Right.
What's
You
fair
made that
about
very
it?
clear.
Yeah.
It was another girl on top of that in that particular situation who had helped out, and she wasn't even charged with anything.
And I stated that.
You made the statement that they should have been on the floor in handcuffs as well,
Also,
since they was the one, and you gave a beautiful illustration showing that how it was done.
Yes. And he got mad because he told me, this is not a show. It wasn't a show. I want you to see exactly what was done to my child.
Yo, some people are auditory learners, some are visual learners. So we covering both sides of it.
That's
Both
it.
sides of it.
To make
if your
sure.
right brain can't comprehend it, maybe your left brain can. Now, if both your brains can't comprehend it, you need to be sitting in the judgment seat, man.
All
Real
right.
talk.
Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, KYRC, which means Know Your Rights campaign.
One more thing, brother.
Go ahead, roll it, brother.
Last thing. Deputy Rob Atkins still does not have a complaint filed on until today. I'm done.
All right, y'all here.
He's still working with children. And my daughter has to be tormented every time she see him because they drop her off to the Pine Grove Middle School so she can get on the bus to go to the other school.
And knowing that, it could happen again. Wow. Once again, this is KYRC Know Your Rights campaign, but above that, the Ghetto Free Press, no news media, no television, no radio, nobody seemed to give a damn.
Oh.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And what's the funny thing is, for all the news media that said that the stuff wasn't accurate, how the judge allowed it in his courtroom? It's evidence.
Wow. Wow. Once again, we in Lowndes County, Georgia. To all the people, I just got a call from Korea this morning. Young man called me from Korea, said, Brother Rhymes, keep doing what you're doing. Well, y'all know I am. By the grace of God, Galatians 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We cannot be free. Not black folk, white folk, Japanese, and can't no human being be free until truth come. And if we present truth, and if the judges and these selected juries will not hear us, then we don't know what alternative we have except for not sending our sons and daughters to fight these damn wars in foreign nations in the name of justice, freedom, and equality by Bible God.